Good evening, sir. I am Sujit. Now I am going to explain about land acquisition, and with the help of a case study, we can know about it in detail. Though land acquisition has surveying as its main component, it has to undergo through many legal procedures. Let us start with the project. Before going into case study, we will be discussing about what is land acquisition actually in brief. So, land acquisition is the power of union or state government in India to acquire private land for the purpose of industrialization. In return, the government will pay a suitable compensation to the landowner as per the market value and would be responsible for rehabilitation and resettlement of owners. Whatever might be the purpose for which the land has been occupied, these are the common steps which are followed. First, we will identify the area to be which is to be occupied, and then the survey will be conducted along with the alignment, and will calculate the amount of loss we are undergone, like buildings, crops, etc., and prepare the resettlement action along with the relocation to the people and restoring their economic livelihood and monitoring their ongoing livelihoods. So, what is the purpose of land acquisition? As per the Government of India, the land acquisition has its own use for its public sector companies or any public persons, which may include any work related to state or national security or defense services in India, building public infrastructures, for any project involving government or allied industries, for industrial corridors, manufacturing zones, or other projects, for water harvesting conservation projects, for government aided educational research institutions, for planned development, etc. Importance of consent. So, while land acquisition, there must be an agreement between the government and the landowner. When the government acquires land for public purposes and controls the land bank directly, the owner's consent is not necessary. However, when the land acquired for settling of private companies, the consent of at least 80% of affected families is mandatory. If the project is undertaken through a public-private partnership, then 70% of affected families have their consent for the land. It is obvious that the land which has been acquisitioned has to be compensated by the government. According to Section 26 of Act that deals with compensation for landowners, it outlines the proposed minimum compensation based on multiples of market values. The market value of the land is determined by average sale price for similar types of land situated in the nearest village or nearest vicinity area. The sale price is assessed by considering one half of the total of the sales days or agreement to the sale. The compensation can be a consented amount in the case the land is acquired for private companies or public-private partnership projects. This was all about the brief introduction about land acquisition. Now coming to our case study, which is the peripheral ring road, which is not yet started, but the land acquisition is still ongoing for this current project. It has been delayed for more than 2 decades due to land acquisition issues and allocation of funds. The 66-kilometer long road PRR connecting Hosur Road and Tumkur Road in Bangalore is finally inching towards becoming a reality. The Bangalore Development Authority has recently floated a tender to get the feasibility and detailed project report prepared by the consultants. To save on land acquisition costs, the civic body has decided to make it an elevated corridor which is estimated to be 13,000 crores. The decision will bring down the land acquisition cost by 40%. However, it remains to be seen if the project gets stuck in any hurdle once the process of acquiring land initiates again. Though there is outer ring road in Bangalore, there was been a sheer need for the development of a PRR. The public transport system is overstressed, carrying about 50 lakh commuters on a daily basis. While the entire city center is crowded, the BDA has developed the ORR in a bid to divert the heavy load traffic to ease the traffic situation in the study. The ORR for the long time has been serving this need. However, the expansion of the urban areas has meant the ORR is also increasingly stressed in terms of traffic volumes. The vehicle composition using ORR consists of different classes covering cars, vans, buses, trucks. In order to provide increased options for the road users beyond the outer ring road, the peripheral ring road will be a key development that will positively impact the traffic situation along with the ORR. Before the commencement of the alignment process around the Bangalore periphery, the surveying must be done, and the rapid reconnaissance survey was chosen for initial understanding gained through a review of secondary sources, followed up by the rapid preliminary field visit to some of the sample locations, primarily to familiarize with the ground level reality with respect to socio economic and livelihood dimensions. Later, the census survey and landowners identification has been done by PAPs. The other secondary activities included detailed project reports, land acquisition plans, alignment drawings, policy and legal frame documents, GICA guidelines on social considerations. And coming to the alignment, the construction of elevated corridor along the identified alignment included widening of roads, improvement of junctions, pavement components, provision and relocation of concealed drainage under the pavements, upgrade of four-lane carriageways, overlay treatment and provision of crash barriers, road and overhead signage. The stretch starts at Makali adjacent to Tumkur Road, moves northeast towards the Tamanahalli and Soladevanhalli, which are mainly agricultural areas, but with the exception of a mixed residential area in Kudaragere and some protected land in some areas. The road intersects SH39 at Soladevanhalli and some protected land in Kudaragere, Tamanahalli and Soladevanhalli. The road then enters agricultural areas in Kogilu and moves south along residential and industrial areas in Agrahara, Tirumalanahalli, Bellahalli and Doddagubli. Further southeast, the road over transverse residential areas in Hiradandahalli intersects Old Madras Road near Sri Mahalakshmi Venkateshwara School in Avalahalli. The road finally curves southwest towards Gattihalli, Huskuru, Chikkannagamangala. It cuts both residential and agricultural land. Going further southwest, the road moves along the periphery of the industrial areas of Electronic City. It enters Electronic City and intersects with the Hosur Road. These are the alignment details of the current project. And coming to the land acquisition status of the project, the BDA has already initiated the land acquisition process under the BDA Act. Final notification as required under the land acquisition process has been issued for 732.67 hectares. Draft compensation awards for project villages has also been prepared. Of the total land notified, government land consists about 38.99 hectares. The land acquisition requirements, however, underwent changes in the recent past due to changes in alignments, court cases, and proposing laying of gas pipes, etc. With all this, the requirement of practical purposes, the required land is 732.67 hectares, and land acquisition process is underway for acquiring this land. The revised alignment and land assessments are under finalization for these sections. The compensation for the land that is proposed to be acquired for the PRR project will be determined as per the provisions of the right to fair compensation and transparency in land acquisition. Individual compensation awards will be finalized following the joint measurement survey, which will determine the exact number of landowners losing land its extent for each landowner. These are the details of the land proposed for acquisition and current acquisition land, and there may be some changes due to change in alignment. Grand total land which has been taken up is 732.671 hectares, and out of 732.671 hectares which was required for this project, only 93.99 hectares has been covered up, and still the project is under pending. In coming to the impact on various communities, these were the land parcels which were lost by the various communities. The social assessment reveals about 647 title holders will be losing about 676 number of land parcels assets. About 30 households will be losing more than one land parcel out of total impacted land parcels. 78% will be losing agricultural land, followed by residential. The people losing commercial structures are minimal, about 8. As we conclude, regarding the 49 villages that has been surveyed, it is found that during joint measurement survey and fine-tuning of the revenue records obtained from the revenue department, there are 2,836 title holders. From the revenue records, it is seen that a total of 1926 title holders lose the land in the PRR. Hence, the identification of persons who are losing lands for the proposal PRR based on the socio-economic survey and revenue records is extend up to 67.91%. Taking all this into consideration, the total number of families for which rehabilitation and resettlement package has to be determined is 1436 title holder families. This is not the only case. The land acquisition plays an important role as it leads in delaying of so many projects. There are other examples such as Navi Mumbai International Airport, which has to be completed in July 2018, but it is still under construction. It is hopefully expected to be completed in mid 2021. Also, the Dwarka Express Highway, which has been delayed by over 11 years. Such important role land acquisition takes place in so many government projects. Thank you, sir.